Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
Natural Life Apothecary is your one-stop shop for natural healing and remedies, offering a full line of organic herbs, oils, teas, CBD, and federally legal Delta products. Visit naturallifetx.com today and save 15% on your entire order with discount code ROUGHNECK. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the race.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to another night of On the Pole Racing here as we're winding down practice here this evening with 20 seconds to go. Then we'll move into qualifying as we are here at Kansas Motor Speedway here tonight, if I remember correctly. Yes, as we are, we're with the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series here tonight. And right now, quickest in practice is going to be Dale Adamson out there in front with John Houston there in second. As they're heading down here through corner 3 and 4 back around here onto the front stretch. Or, I'm sorry, back stretch it is. That might be a problem with me once again here tonight. Hopefully it's not too much of an issue as we got everything situated here. Down. All right. Hopefully everybody can hear me. All right. Thinking I was talking a little quiet there for a little bit. So, qualifying is commencing here at Kansas. Trying to see who we got out on track at the moment. Looks. This is interesting. I don't know if this is the way iRacing's doing it or if this is truly open practice, open qualifying. As they're coming out onto the track, looks like Chris Ramsey's going to pull off. Matthew Gall out there going to start us off in that number 78 machine. He's up there against that outside wall, coming there through 3 and 4, rather, coming around and get the green flag on the front straightaway. Down here through the front, down here in the corner, number 1 for that 78 machine. As we got Rick Baldwin out on track as well, and at number 19. Larry Fairman in the number 99 coming around as well. John Houston, he's going to come around. He's going to see if he can start his flag lap there. Houston with a 32.432 in that number 28 to put himself on pole, as he's got Stephen Shu up there on the high side. And James Wagoner 00. Coming off of corner number 2. Down the backstretch, Houston laying down a great time there through sector number 1. And Matthew Gall lays down a blister of a time with a 32.301. As we got him coming down here through the front stretch. And it's going to be, let's see if Houston got anywhere near it. And he does with a 31.844 for John Houston. We got about we're working there with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left of qualifying. As they're getting together out there on the backstretch. Dale Adamson there in his 746. Down through the front stretch. And back into corner number 1 once again. We're heading out here is coming down to 2 minutes ago in qualifying. Yeah, that's what it looks like here too on my end there, K&S. It does look like somebody set it up for open qualifying, or at least that's what we're looking at here. Instead of single car qualifying, you got John Houston out there in third now, as Dale Adamson sets down a 31.687 for his fast lap, still with a minute something to go here. As it comes down the backstretch, we're on board with Dale Adamson as he heads down here into corner number 3 and 4 once again. Off of 3 and 4, back around onto the front stretch. Dale Adamson down to the inside of John Houston as they come rolling down here across the stripe. Dale Adamson with a 31.565. Stephen Shu laying down a 31.746. That'll put him into second place ahead of Matt Gall, who is currently with a 31.775. About under a minute left to qualify now as they head down here through 3 and 4, back around to the front stretch. Dale pulls off. Stephen Shu pulls off. Ace, James Wagoner, and Pete Dillon have not qualified. Larry Fairman sitting there in 8th position right now. I'm trying to see where the excitement on track is. Now it looks like Chris Melton and the 49. That is the 49 of Chris Melton, and the 6 there of Chris Phillips, who Chris Phillips has taken over the pole position here with under a second to go here as they come across the line. Checker is waving there for Chris Phillips. Is going to take the pole here tonight with a 31.344. As it comes to an end here for qualifying. Take a look at the race info here for tonight. We got track temperature of 86 degrees Fahrenheit. The weather is 78 degrees Fahrenheit for an ambient temperature, 44% humidity, cloudy skies with 2-mile-per-hour winds here this evening at Kansas. Our grid is up here. As we got the grid, and we got somebody done K&S me confused. Alrighty, I'm unsure of what's going on here tonight. Chris Phillips in first, Dale Adams in second, Stephen Shue third, John Houston fourth, Larry Fairman will rule off in fifth, James Wagner sixth, Matthew Barker there in seventh. Those are classified as Class 1 here tonight. Class 2 is going to be Matthew Gall, Chris Melton, and Chris Ramsey. And Rick Baldwin and Pete Dillon will be Class 3. I'm a little confused here of what's going on. So the grid, if I'm reading it right, should be starting first is going to be Chris Phillips, Dale Adams in second, Stephen Shue third, John Houston fourth, Larry Fairman fifth, James Wagner there in sixth, Matthew Barker there in seventh, Matthew Gall eighth, Chris Melton there in ninth, Chris Ramsey there in 10th, with Rick Baldwin 11th and Pete Dillon rolling off in 12th here this evening. Again, unsure exactly why they are lined up that way, but it's a little odd. We'll see how it rolls as they roll out onto the track here. As drivers come rolling off. Around corner number 2 as they come down the backstretch here. Getting ready to get this race underway. Hope everybody's here to enjoy a great night of racing. As we head down here into corner number 3 and 4. Following that, number 6 of Chris Phillips out there in front. Lights are up on that pace car. We're going to get green flag racing here in just a moment. And always we want to give shout outs to our sponsors up there in the top right corner of the screen. Pace car is off. We're getting ready to go green as they head down here into the restart zone. And we're green for lap number 1 here at Kansas as Chris Phillips takes off to the lead down here into corner number 1. As we head down here, it is side-by-side racing. We got the likes of Dale Adamson up there in second. And it looks like, if I'm looking right, it got them split by car makes. So this will be interesting as our top Ford is in 1. Our top Chevrolet is leading the race, and that is Dale Adamson, followed by Chris Phillips. Matthew Gall in the first Ford is going to be there in third. Rick Baldwin is our Toyota back there in sixth. This is quite interesting having the coloring on the grid this way. You see there the drivers with the car logos there. Now we head on down here back into the front straightaway. It is Dale Adamson with your lead. Chris Phillips there in second. Battle going on there for third. As they head down here into corner number 1. That is between John Houston and Matt Gall. Stephen Shue right there behind them. They're in 5th position. As they head on down through here. Dale Adamson out front. Chris Phillips there second. John Houston there third. Matt Gall there fourth. Stephen Chu there fifth. As they roll on down through the front stretch once again here. We got 100 laps for the distance here tonight at Kansas as we roll around turns 1 and 2 back out onto the backstretch. Stephen Chu looks like he's going to try to get a move on Matt Gall as they come down the backstretch. Into corner number 3. John Houston there in that AC Delco number 28 rolling off of corner number 4 as we got him looking here. Great out wrap. I got some work to do on this layout. Alrighty, down here through 1 and 2. John Houston there third with Stephen Chu in fourth. Matt Gall there now fifth. Has Chu got around him. Now Gall looks to the bottom, looking like he's going to try to set the pace there on that bottom side to get around Chu. Little farther back, you've got James Wagoner in that camo James Wagoner machine. And battling there with Larry Fairman as Fairman now works up there on the high side above Wagner. Rick Baldwin there in 6th. Stephen Chu there in 5th. Now that Matt Gall has got back around him. Stephen Chu now trying to get up there and battle back once again as they head on down through into corner number 3. Matt Gall up there up top. Stephen Chu looking at the bottom side. I'm kind of unsure which lane is the quickest lane around here when it comes to momentum and tire saving going around Kansas here. Do you want to be up there toward the higher line, or do you want to be down there towards that lower line? Or is it more driver preference almost? As we see Matt Gall almost up there into that outside wall as he works there through 1 and 2, back out onto the backstretch here on lap number 7. So a little bit of facts on Kansas. We got them at a tri-oval. 4 turns. The turns were at 17 to 20 degrees progressive banking. Front stretch is at 10 degrees and back stretch is at 5 degrees banking. So far, so good there for these drivers. They head on down through the back stretches. We're on board there with Stephen Chu. Down here in the corner, number 3 and 4 to his inside. That's going to be Larry Fairman in that number 99. Going to see if he can make something happen as they come down here in the front stretch. They head down here in the corner number 1 and 2. Or, I'm sorry, auto 1 and 2 down here into 3 and 4 now. Lap number 10 of 100. As they all get kind of spaced out, we'll go ahead and bring up the map so we can keep an eye on this as they get very, very spread out. As it looks like Wagner's back down on pit road. I'm not sure exactly what happened to him. Unless it's just a scheduled pit stop here at lap number 10. I'm unsure of that, though, as they head down here through the backstretch onto corner number 3. Sometimes it's interesting to see the strategy that plays out for these drivers as they run along here in the Xfinity series here now with the James Wagoner Welding. We're watching Stephen Chu there in that 00. Side by side is the 6 on the bottom. That's Chris Phillips. He's battling now Dale Adams over that lead as they head there out of corner number 3 and 4. Shortly in front of them is a couple lap cars as the 746 of Dale Adamson falls in behind there for the Chris Phillips. Chris Phillips going to lead that lap there on the inside lane as they work down here through the corner number 1 and 2. That's a Foothills driver down there on the inside of Chris Phillips. Not sure which team Dale Adamson is for. As they're battling side by side there as they come out of corner number 4 now. Down here in the corner and through the tri-oval down here in the corner number 1. Side by side still for that front spot. As Chris Phillips battles there with Dale Adamson down there through turns 1 and 2. Now here at lap number 14 is what we're working on. And right behind him, it looks to be the 28 of John Houston. It looks like Chris Phillips is going to pull up in line behind Dale Adams, but not quite, as he fights back down along the inside lane once again. As we're on board there with Chris Phillips coming out of corner number 4. Dale Adamson getting a great run out there on that high side down here in the corner number 1. As Adamson makes it 15 laps of 100 on the board. Very, very strung out here, very, very early on here tonight. Definitely have a interesting way down here, down through the backstretch as Phillips tries to gain momentum up onto the bumper of Dale Adamson down here in the corner number 3. Chris Phillips shoots to the inside. Does he have no momentum to hold it there? He's holding it there, but does he have the momentum to come off and take that position down here off of corner number 4? Side by side, it's going to be Adamson at the line. Down here in the corner number 1, lap number 17 of 100. Is what we're working on down here through corner number 1 and 2. Here at Kansas Speedway for the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series this season. As you're looking at the number 19 of Rick Baldwin. As they're heading down here through the front straightaway, it looks like Baldwin's going to look to the bottom of, looks like the lap car, the 49 of Chris Melton is going lap down here to the 19 of Rick Baldwin. He's got Matt Gall right there behind him. Matt Gall looking down there into the bottom of the corner. And oh no! There goes Baldwin. I'm sorry, not Baldwin. Yeah, it was Baldwin. Sorry. Baldwin gets turned up into the outside wall. Caution is not out on the speedway as of yet. As we're still green, Baldwin pulled it to the pits. No caution on the speedway. As they come down here through corner number 1 and 2. Take another look at it here. As they come through, here's a look at the 31 of Pete Dillon. Well, actually 63 on your scoreboard. But Rick Baldwin having some problems back here himself as he comes through the corner, comes up. They're racing hard down the backstretch. And all of a sudden, here comes the 49 down into the 19, turns him up into that outside wall. Baldwin takes a header to the outside wall as he brings it down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. Unfortunately, though, no caution comes out for that. Now, everybody stays green here, and we're still rolling here now on lap number 21. Down here through off of 2. We're here with Dale Adamson still. Sitting there second. Chris Phillips got back around him, taking that lead once again. Down here through 3 and 4, that is going to be Dale Adamson there in second. Looking to the bottom side, now we're looking at Stephen Shue in that 00 right there behind that number 49 of Chris Melton. I don't think Baldwin's going to be too happy with Melton, as Melton was a lap down car and ended up taking Baldwin out, who was on the lead lap. Pete Dillon now on. Pete Dillon sitting there a lap down. It looks like Matt is officiating something else here tonight, as he's not on. That is, Ace doesn't seem to be out on track right now. As they come storming down across the line down here in the corner number 1, we've got lap number 23 showing on the board. Off of corner number 2, and we got a couple still on pit road. That is Matthew Gall, Rick Baldwin down there on pit road. Baldwin, we saw what happened to him. He took a header to the outside wall off the nose of the 49 of Chris Melton. Again, I'm not in a position to say if it was intentional, not intentional. It's hard for me to really say. Other than it, it looked like to me, and this is only my opinion, that Melton came down and caught the right rear quarter panel of Baldwin, sending Baldwin up into the outside fence. They worked down the backstretch. Dale Adamson there in second, Chris Phillips there first, John Houston sitting there third, Larry Fairman fourth. Stephen Shue there in 5th. That is your top 5 drivers right now, and the top 5 are the only ones on the lead lap as it stands right now. As we come across to make it lap number 25 on the board for us to be working on down here through turns number 1 and 2. You got Adamson down there still trying to make that inside lane work for him as he worked down here, down the backstretch, down here into corner number 3. Chris Phillips liking up there against the wall. Got Dale Adamson that's looking down there to the inside as they work down here off of corner number 3, back out 4, and on to the front stretch. Coming across the stripe, we are a quarter of the way through the race here this evening from Kansas Speedway. Down here into corner number 1, it is going to be that of Dale Adamson there in second, following there behind Chris Phillips. As Phillips is coming up there on lap traffic, I think that might be we'll have to see there. As it looks like Adamson's going to get a run at him. Looks like maybe Phillips is dropping down there in the inside lane. Keep an eye on that 6. Does he stay out or is he bring it down on the pit lane? But now he can't, as he's got it. This Dale Adamson back down there to his inside, coming down there to corner number 1 and 2 as they come across the stripe. And it's still Chris Phillips leading the way out there on that high side as Dale Adamson's down there on the inside. John Houston there third. Looks like Dale Adamson slowly slid back in line there out front. Here comes Dale Adamson now against the bottom. Always looking at the top. He's trying to find a way around that number 6 of Chris Phillips as they come roaring down here in the corner number 1. Down here in the side of that number 40. Or down inside that number 6 machine. Off of corner number 2 they go out onto the backstretch. Dale Adamson still there in second with Chris Phillips there in first. John Houston there third. Larry Fairman fourth. Stephen Shue there 5th. Again, those 5 drivers are the only ones on the lead lap, as you can see up there by your ticker. As Dillon, Wagner, Ramsey, Melton, Gall, Baldwin, and Barker are all either into pits or out or down at least 1 lap. Melton's down 2, Gall down 4. Baldwin is still sitting in the pits. Down here off of corner number 4, down across the stripe, you got Dale Adamson there out front, Chris Phillips there second, John Houston there third, Larry Fairman there fourth with Stephen Shue in 5th. They're working down there through the backstretch once again. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the racing as these 2 out front are really putting it on as Dale Adamson has retaken that lead out there out front. For the likes of the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series here tonight. Dale Adamson back out front. Chris Phillips there in second, but fighting back along the inside. Remember, Chris Phillips qualified on pole up here at the front. As they head on down here through corner number 3 and 4, back out onto the front stretch through that tri-oval. Dale Adamson out front with Chris Phillips there second. John Houston there third. Larry Fairman there fourth with Stephen Shute in fifth. As they roll on down through 1 and 2, back out onto the backstretch. Baldwin still sitting in the pits here as they keep going around them out there on the outside of the racetrack. Baldwin sitting there in the pits. Lap number 32 on the board as we head down here into corner number 3 and 4. As Adamson's going to come around and make it lap number 33. As we head down here into corner number 1 and 2. Once again, Dobbs out, coming off of the tri-oval and back out onto the backstretch. Again, Dale Adamson still out front. Chris Phillips has crashed and jumped to the pits. Unsure what happened there to Phillips. We'll take a quick look here as they head on down here. Phillips in that 6 machine got down on the apron, brought it up, got loose, brought it down on the apron once again. And now he's locking it up and towing it back to the pits. So unsure what happened there with Phillips, as Phillips was the leader. And we got Dale Adamson out there out front now. John Houston there second. Larry Fairman there third. Stephen Shue there fourth. As they're heading down here off of corner number 4 across the stripe. Who's it going to be as they roll off of 4? Or I'm sorry, roll off of 2. It's Adamson still out front. About a second and a quarter behind. Here's John Houston there in that number 28. Again, unsure why Phillips ended up in the pits, unless he had some sort of malfunction there, but he has called it a night. He is out. So Phillips out of this race here tonight in the James Wagoner Xfinity Series as we're reaching here at lap number 36. All right, down here through corner number 1 and 2 as we work off onto the backstretch. There you see the 13 there of Chris Ramsey. As he's going to end up going a lap down here. Out onto the backstretch. Ramsey pulls it down. He's going to let Adamson out there along the outside. They work down here through 3 and 4, back out into 1 and 2. Adamson still leading it. Now we're watching Chris Ramsey there in that number 13, as he is 2 laps down here currently. Again, Phillips is out. Baldwin is in the pits. Barker is out. Lap number 40 on the board as we come around here. As Houston knows he's got that lap machine of the 13 out above him. Down here in the corner number 3 once again. Round and round we go here on the pole for the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series here as everybody stretched out around the Kansas Speedway here tonight. Leading it is Dale Adamson. We got John Houston as we're looking here in second with Larry Fairman there third. 3 drivers on the lead lap is all we got so far. James Wagoner sitting there in fourth in that number 30. He's up 2 spot, I'm sorry, trying to figure out what I got going on here. All right, there we go. As we come down through here, Dale Adamson there in first, John Houston there second, with Larry Fairman third. As they come rolling down here through off of corner number 4, lap number 42. These front 3 drivers have yet to pit, and it looks like Pete Dillon never pitted either, but Dillon is down a couple laps here, as he is 2 laps down, sitting in 6th place. So I'm only seeing 4 drivers that have not pitted. James Wagoner pitted at lap number 10. They head out at turn number 4. Wagoner heads down there through 1 and 2, heading out onto the backstretch. As we got the leaders heading down here into corner number 1. Wagner's going to head into corner number 3. We got the 99 out there. Larry Fairman coming across the stripe there. And we got him at lap number 44 is what we're currently working on. Down here in the corner number 1 and 2 goes Wagner. And 3 and 4 goes all the leaders along with the 13 of Fairman. I'm sorry, not Fairman, but Ramsey. I thought I heard somebody say they were pitting in, and that was John Houston. I'm sorry, no, Dale Adamson pitting in here at lap number 45, 44, 45. We'll see what it calls his pit lap as he heads out, as others are heading around the racetrack here. We got the 49 of Chris Melton down there on the inside. You got Matt Gall up there on the outside. Both those drivers laps down. Heading around onto the front stretch down here through all on. It goes Matt Gall there in 9th, as he's got Chris Phillips there in 10th. And it looks like Rick Baldwin has fallen back now to 11th spot since he has called it at the end. Drivers are trying to gain where they can. We got a few drivers now on pit road. The likes of John Houston, Larry Fairman, Dale Adamson, all out on pit road. So again, I'm unsure exactly what happened to Phillips. But he has declared himself done in the race here tonight at Kansas as they roll around here off the bottom, coming off of 4. Down through the tri-oval. Lap number 46 on the board down here in the corner number 1. Everybody's just single file here, so it's like kind of... Somebody better try to keep this broadcaster awake since we're single file so much here at Kansas. Down here into corner number 3 and 4, they go again. Leading the way, John Houston, James Wagoner there in 2nd. So Wagoner taking that short pit has worked out a little bit to where he's now up there in 2nd. Stephen Shue there 3rd. Larry Fairman there 4th. Chris Ramsey there 5th. Pete Dillon there 6th. Chris Melton there in 7th. Down here, lap number 49 as they head down here through 3 and 4 once again. John Houston still leading the way with James Wagoner there second. Baldwin still sitting in the pits after that unfortunate entanglement there with the 49 of Chris Melton. I see Mountain down here has John Houston underneath him. There in that number 28 coming off of corner number 1. Well, we're going to keep him in our prayers. Hopefully everything is okay. Thanks for that update there, Ledford. If you're watching, viewers, please make sure you keep Phillips in your thoughts as tornado sirens are going off. As he was in the middle of the race, had to make a quick dash to the exit. So hopefully everything is okay there, that he's going to stay safe. As we'll keep him in our thoughts here at Figure Farm TV, along with all of our viewers. I certainly hope you all keep thoughts out there as well. Down here in the corner number 3 and 4, we got Matt Gall leading that small pack around. Matt Gall, though, is in 9th. As you got John Houston there in the number 28, slowly reeling in Matt Gall down here through corner number 1 and 2. Down here in through the backstretch. Lap number 52 on the board. So we are over halfway now of the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series here tonight for the Roughneck Racing Become Elite. Now we head down here through the trial down back towards turn number 1. You're watching John Houston gain on that lap down machine of Matt Gall as we head down here into corner number 1. Adamson now has fallen back behind some, so Adamson back there in about 7th a lap down as he had to make a pit stop. James Wagoner still doing what he can as we're watching him roll through the pack up here in 2nd. Getting around that number 13 there of Chris Ramsey. He's got Stephen Shue now looking to the inside. Stephen Shue's going to go around the likes of Chris Ramsey as he sets his sights on Wagoner here at lap number 54 down here in the corner number 1. As we got him around 1 and 2. Shue there in 3rd. Wagoner there 2nd. Houston there 1st. They come roaring down the backstretch. Lap number 54 on the board. As they work down here off the front stretch dock down toward turn 1. John Houston as your leader. James Wagoner there in 2nd, but he's slowly starting to get a mireful of Shue. And I'm trying to see who's coming in there. That is Larry Fairman coming into the picture as well, who is currently running 4th. As Wagoner off pace down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. Is he out of fuel? And can he make it back around there to the pit box? As he is down there on the apron, he's coasting it around the best he can. As he's on pit road. So Wagoner definitely got it around there. John Houston now takes the lead there in that number 28 here at lap number 56. 57 now on the board. 56 laps complete for the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series. With John Houston, your leader, Larry Fairman there in 2nd. Stephen Shue there 3rd. They come roaring down the backstretch. Houston still out there in front with Fairman there 2nd. Stephen Shue there 3rd. Out here on to the front stretch goes Houston. Lap number 58 on the board as he rolls through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Dale Adamson. Looks like we got Chris Melton and Pete Dillon in the pits as they undergo some pit stops here a little after halfway through the race. Alrighty, here at lap number 59, heading down here in the corner at number 3 and 4. Shoe up there on the outside of Melton as they roll down here through 3 and 4. Shoe taking that momentum line up there with 60 on the board. And you got John Houston leading with Larry Fairman there second, Stephen Shoe third, Dale Adamson there fourth with James Wagoner in fifth. Alrighty, looks like Stephen Shoe's still sitting there third, trying to chase down Larry Fairman, who is in second now. John Houston out there in front. James Wagoner dropped back to fifth after his pit stop. And you got Dale Adamson there in, Dale Adamson there in fourth, one lap down. So what's going to be the strategy call here as the laps keep winding on down? As we're under 40 to go here in the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series. Down here through corner number 1 and 2. And back here into 3 and 4 goes that likes of Matt Gall. Baldwin still sitting on pit lane down there in his pit stall after that unfortunate accident, as we said earlier on in the race, that happened between him and Melton. As Melton sitting in 6th position in that number 49 Ford right at this moment in time. Down here through corner number 3 and 4. Down here in the, oh man, I'm getting twisted around. 3 and 4 this time as 746 is leading Matthew Gall, and Gall is sitting back there in 7th. Dale Adams there in 4th. Corner number 2, down the backstretch. Down heading toward corner number 3. John Houston still leading the race here at lap number 65. Kind of struggling keeping my eyes open here for a moment for some odd reason. As we head down here through the backstretch, down into corner number 3 and 4, we're following Adamson there in at 746. James Wagoner, other known as Doogie, down there in 5th position. John Houston still leads it with here at lap number 66. As they come across the stripe, we're watching Larry Fairman, who is in 2nd place, trying to chase down that number 28 of John Houston. Quite a gap difference, though, between 1st and 2nd. As if you're looking at it, especially the track map, you'll see 28 of John Houston just comes across the stripe, and Larry Fairman's just barely making it into corner number 3. So they're about a half a track ahead of one another. As Fairman comes off of the corner number 4 back across the straightaway. Houston out front by a great margin as we head on down here through corner number 1 and 2 with Larry Fairman. Down here through off of 4. Down across the stripe. Larry Fairman still holding on to that 2nd spot. We got Chris Melton there in 6th. They head out here at lap number 69. John Houston out there going across the backstretch.
Well, yeah.
Down the backstretch once again, John Houston still leads the race with Larry Fairman out front with Stephen Shue there 3rd. James Wagoner now moves up to 4th as Dale Adamson shakes it in the pit lane here with lap number 70 on the board. See if anybody else comes in with him. That does look like Matt Gall is also coming in. "30 laps to go here at the Kansas Speedway for the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series, brought to you by Roughneck Racing. Become elite as they head down here in the corner number 3, back out onto the front stretch. John Houston's there in 1st, going to do all he can to hang on to that lead. Matthew Gall coming back out on from pit road. John Houston out there 1st, Larry Fairman there 2nd, Stephen Shue there 3rd. Those are all your drivers that are a lap, that are on the lead lap. And it looked like we had a couple more drivers call it a night. That was, we know Chris Phillips did, but I believe we had another one as well. I got to figure that out here as we look here. Houston there in 1st, Fairman there 2nd. Almost 16 seconds gap. Stephen Shue there in 3rd. Wagner minus 2 laps there in 4th. Melton there 5th. You got Adamson there in 6th, 3 laps down. Dillon is 4 laps down. Gall, 4 laps down. And ninth, you got Ramsey, who is out. Phillips is out. Baldwin out, or in the pits. Barker is out. Oh, yeah, I need something here.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, maybe some Code Red Dew will help.
Thank you.
Lap number 74 coming off of corner number 4. We got Dale Adamson there coming down into corner number 1. Everybody stretched out around Kansas Speedway here tonight. Here at lap number 74 as they head out onto the backstretch. Melton getting up out of the way of Adamson. Possibly as Adamson works down the backstretch. Adamson and Melton now on the same lap. Adamson was a lap down there to Melton. Melton still trying to hang on to the same lap as Wagner. Wagner's trying to gain a lap back to get back up there to fight for a podium if he can. Down here through corner number 1 and 2, you're watching that 49 machine of Melton down there. 25 laps to go here at Kansas as we head down here into corner number 3 and 4 once again. Wagner going across the line. That is going to be for that 4th position. As Houston, Fairman, and Shue hang on to the front spots as it stands right now. 24 to go. Lap number, you're looking at the 31 of Pete Dillon. On your score sheet, though, he is number 63. Again, we want to make sure that our thoughts are out there with Phillips, as he had some unfortunate Mother Nature problems going on, so we're going to make sure we keep him in our thoughts here tonight. And hoping that everybody keeps him safe or stays safe out in that area that he is at. They head down here across the stripe. Matt Gall back there in 7th, 23 laps to go. The 00 of Stephen Shue come across the line to 28 as well. Houston slowly, possibly gaining on Shue. This could be an interesting turn of events here, as Shue is at risk of going lap down as they work there off of 4. Houston there in front. There you see Fairman down the backstretch. And there goes Shue, and here comes Houston down here into corner number 1 to follow. So Houston has a huge gap over 3rd place, has a half a lap over 2nd. So really, coming down here in these closing laps, people could say that it's Houston's race to lose as he heads down here into corner number 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to bring it to pit lane. So now we want to keep an eye on these other 2 drivers. Larry Fairman, who is coming through turn 3 and 4 at this time. Is he going to pull it in and pit, or is he going to stay out? And it looks like he's going to stay out, come across the stripe, and he's going to take the lead from John Houston. Stephen Shue there in 3rd. Is he going to come in, or is he staying out as well? And it looks like he's staying out as well there with 20 laps to go. Larry Fairman out there in front. Last pitting at lap number 45. John Houston on his way out. Larry Fairman coming around turn 3 and 4. He's going to stay out still as he comes down here with 20 laps to go. Fairman, our leader. Stephen Shue there second as he rolls down here through corner number 3 and 4 back out here. He's going to pull it to pit lane. So now the deciding factor is on Larry Fairman. Can Larry Fairman really do something here as Houston comes around, and he's going to come around at 00 of Shue. Dropping him down to 3rd place. Larry Fairman up there in front. John Houston there in 2nd. And the 00 still not to his pit box yet, it doesn't seem. He's now there in the pit box. So how long is he going to stay there in that pit box? That is to be seen as we're on board there with Larry Fairman down the back straightaway. Houston still out there in 2nd. Wagoner now falling there in to 3rd. As Stephen Shue falls back to 4th. Here comes the leader of John Houston to go around Stephen Shue. He worked down there in the corner. There comes James Wagoner, who is a lap down to Larry Fairman. Larry Fairman out there in front, over top of John Houston. And Houston out there in 2nd right now. Where you going? Down the back stretch here. Larry Fairman out there in front. Houston there 2nd. A 25-second lap, or 25-second gap, I'm sorry, between 1st and 2nd.
Well, I just finished my bottle.
Larry Fairman there out front, running that number 99 out there in a great position, as he's got John Houston out there a little bit farther ahead of him as he tries to stay on the lead lap. Houston coming across the stripe now, and Fairman coming out of 4, so over a half a lap difference between these two drivers as they head down here into corner number 1. Fairman there out front. You got Houston there second. There's Matt Gall sitting back here in 7th right now. Right behind him is Pete Dillon. Chris Melton up into the outside wall. He struggled quite a bit here tonight. And I'm sure that Baldwin might have a few words for him here after the race as well. Probably for that incident there that put Baldwin up into the outside fence and out of this one. As they head down here through 1 and 2 and onto the backstretch. You're looking at Larry Fairman there nibbling at his heels as he works down here through the corner. You got the 49 there of Chris Melton trying to go and get up there toward trying to get up there and puncture something off of this creature. It looks like Fairman might be going and getting slower here, possibly. But unsure now. Here comes Houston down around Wagoner. Wagoner definitely locked into 3rd position at the moment. As 1st and 2nd are the only drivers on the lead lap. And the question I have is, will Houston stay on the lead lap? I'm going to say that he will. He's plenty far enough ahead. Coming down here through corner number 1 and 2. And you got Fairman, though. How long can Fairman hang out? As he's got 11 laps to go here. Down here into corner number 1. Front to back. He's right there behind the likes of Melton as they head out of 2. Fairman still leading the way. And Fairman's the only one that hasn't pitted yet in this round of pit stops. And it looks like Wagoner has not pitted. Neither has Chris Melton. And a few others may look a little odd on their pit board score sheet. As they head on down here into corner number 3 and 4. And it sounds like, coming out of 1 and 2 now, sounds like Larry Fairman's going to pull it in this lap. He drops down there the apron, or down there on the lower lane. Does he fully pull it into the apron? And he will. He's getting on the brake. He's coming down into pit road this time. Now the question is, what can Houston do back here with 10 laps to go as he comes through 3 and 4? He's got Dale Adamson right there in front of him. And so he looks to the bottom side. Here comes Houston down across the stripe. The 99 of Fairman still on pit road. Here comes that number 28 of John Houston back out there in the lead. As the 99 of Larry Fairman sitting there on pit road taking a full service stop. As we're watching John Houston down here through the backstretch down in the corner number 3 and 4. There comes Larry Fairman back out onto the track. John Houston, though, coming with a head of steam coming up here in the corner number 1 and 2. What type of gap's going to be between Houston and Fairman? As Houston kind of flip-flopped it there. Looks like Fairman's now coming up onto the track. Coming into corner number 3. Here comes Houston down here into corner number 3. Fairman might hang on to it just enough to stay out ahead of Houston. But this will most likely be your finishing grid here, with John Houston out there in first, Larry Fairman second, as there's only 6 or 7 laps to go here at Kansas. And in the corner number 3, here they go. You got the 28 Houston still out front. After the pitch strategies kind of fell a little bit to his favor a little bit in that AC Delco number 28 machine. As they head down here into corner number 3 and 4, back out onto the front stretch, down into corner number 1 and 2. 6 laps to go for John Houston here at Kansas Speedway. Down here across the stripe, 5 laps to go now for Houston. As we head on down here in the corner number 1 and 2. Houston heading back out onto the backstretch. Everybody really, really spaced out. Looks like Wagoner, though, is trying to get around the lap car. Or actually, no, he's battling there with Stephen Shue. As Shue dropped down there along the bottom edge. Going to get around Wagoner. Wagoner going to have to push down the backstretch to see if he can get anything to battle Shue with. Down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Alrighty, 2 laps to go. Houston out front here as the laps are winding down. Houston coming across the backstretch. I'm sorry, no, Houston coming out of turn number 4. I'm getting lost on where I'm at on track. As Houston takes it, the white flag here for the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series. Down here in the corner number 1 goes the number 28 of John Houston back out onto the backstretch. In that AC Delco number 28, Houston definitely put together a strong run here tonight. Put together a winning strategies with the pit stops. Green from end to end here tonight. So 2 nights in a row we've gone from flag to flag. No cautions here on the pole. We're getting ourselves some better drivers. Now just find the next step, which is blank. Yeah. No. Down here in the corner number 1 and 2, James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series here tonight concludes with the winner of John Houston down the backstretch in that AC Delco number 28 machine. Waiting on results to show. Everybody comes through. And we got John Houston as your winner. Larry Fairman there second. Stephen Shute third. James Wagoner finishing in 4th. Chris Melton there 5th. Dale Allenson finishing tonight in 6th. Matthew Gall 7th. Pete Dillon there in 8th. Chris Ramsey 9th. Chris Phillips there in 10th. Rick Baldwin in 11th. And Matthew Barker, also known as Ace, will round out your field tonight in 12th.
Larry, go get your picture back. There you go.
Now, let's see who we can get a hold of down here. As we got our 3rd place driver, Stephen Shute.
You had me worried there, man. I thought you were saving enough fuel.
No, I didn't have near enough to get to the end. I should have said it when you did, and I might have caught you.
Good evening, Stephen. How's it going?
Pretty good. How's Fleeger?
Oh, I'm doing well. Hold on a moment. I think we got something goofy here. I'm not sure.
They're keying up, Falcon.
What's that?
Can you still hear them? They're keying up in race.
Yeah, there. We got them down now. We're good to go now. So, what a race there tonight. Stayed green all the way through. Come down to strategy.
Yeah, I say it will. I think the race was set up a little bit odd tonight. I think it might have been just a goof, but everything turned out pretty good. I gotta say that I am worried about Chris Phillips. He was leading the race there, doing pretty good. He had to dip off for tornado sirens going off right behind his house, so I'm a little worried about him. So hopefully he's okay.
Well, yeah, definitely our thoughts are with him right now. As, we know we got word here in the booth as well. So,
Yeah, he had to retreat to his basement.
well, let's pray that the house is still there and he can join us next week.
Yes.
So, but our thoughts are with him. So, finishing there third tonight, kind of feel pretty good getting third. I mean, you finished third, but still a lap down.
Oh yeah, it's just the strategy on fuel. Everybody was hitting where they was hitting. It was just falling into place. So I mean, I thought Larry was going to have it locked up there. If he could have made it to the end, I think he'd have had me and John both beat. But he was going to come up a little short, so he had to dip in. But I was not the fastest car on the track tonight by no means.
Well, sometimes it's not a matter of being the fastest. It's about having the crew chief behind it to figure out that fuel strategy.
I'll take luck over skill any day.
Well, who's your shout outs and sponsors you want to give here tonight?
Definitely got to give a shout out to Team Foothills. Chris Barker, Jeffrey Ledford, Chris Phillips. That's my teammates there. Sorry they couldn't make it tonight. Got to give a shout out to Jamie at Wagner's Welding, owner operator, and our team sponsor, also the league sponsor. Got to give a shout out to Mag Real Estate. Got to give a shout out to Herbalife. I think that's his other business that's on here. Definitely you in the broadcast booth and the wife and kids downstairs watching me.
Well, congrats again on that third place finish here tonight. And I know we're heading somewhere next week. I'm just not exactly sure where that is.
I have no clue myself. I actually barely made it to the race tonight. I was in a PTO meeting with my kids.
Well, we're going to find out here real quick.
Looks like Rockingham.
Yeah, that is where we're at. We're at the Rock.
That'll be a fun one.
It should be. Should definitely be a fun one.
I appreciate everything you do, and again, shout out to Jamie and Wagner's Welding for sponsoring the league. Shout out to my teammates there, the wife and kids, and a good little above. Like I said, I'm more worried about Chris Phillips. We call him Dr. Phil because when he dipped off the race, he literally said, "I'm sorry, I got to go. Tornado alarm's going on outside. We got to get down to the basement." I said, "Be safe, brother." So everybody, just say a prayer for them. That's a lot bigger than this race. I'll tell you that right now. I'm just.
Oh, it definitely is. Mother Nature has not been kind to us this year.
No, it hasn't.
So, all right. Well, you stay safe as well there, Steven, and we'll catch you next week. Hopefully, we'll hear from Phillips too.
Yep. Hopefully, we'll hear from him tomorrow. But y'all have a good night. Thank you.
You too. So that was Steven Shue with Foothills. And we'll see if we can find our second place finisher, Larry Fairman. And do not see Larry. What about John Houston, our winner? And yes, we do have John Houston that we can grab. Good evening, John. How's it going? Mr. Houston, can you hear us? Well, I'm getting no answer here. John Houston, can you hear us yet? Alrighty, well, his radio must not be working, so no interview there for John Houston as we get as we're signing off here. Congrats to our winner there of John Houston as we head off for the night. Prayers and thoughts go out to Phillips, as we heard he had to dip out quickly as the sirens were going off in behind his house, and had to vacate quickly to the basement, so hopefully everything's safe there, and he could join us next week. And hopefully they'll have some word Wednesday night whenever they take on the other Roughneck series. And hopefully Phillips will have some word for those guys that night as well. And like I said, prayers go out to them, thoughts as well. Now that will conclude our race here tonight from Kansas Speedway for the Roughneck Racing League and the James Wagoner Welding Xfinity Series. Everybody have a great night, and thank you for watching.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
Natural Life Apothecary is your one-stop shop for natural healing and remedies, offering a full line of organic herbs, oils, teas, CBD, and federally legal Delta products. Visit naturallifetx.com today and save 15% on your entire order with discount code ROUGHNECK. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the race.